Oh, it's good to be back. Happy Monday, y'all. Welcome back to Chill to Action. It's me, it's your girl, Danny Joy here, hanging out once again with my favorite co-host, the one, the only, Mr. Paul Denuzio.
It's a PLD. Happy International Women's Day, Danny.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to everyone out there. Happy International Workers' Women's Day also.
There you go. Absolutely. We have powerful women here on C2A. We have powerful women throughout the league. We love our women.
We do. I think that, women in the Schmodown has been a fun journey to watch. If you've been a fan of the Schmodown for a long time, you've seen the ups, you've seen the downs, and definitely have seen a lot of people come through it. And our guest today has definitely been one of the shining stars, no pun intended, but puns always intended, of the Schmodown and showing the type of strength that it is. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves really quickly, Paul. We do have someone else to introduce.
That's true. He's back again. He only comes for the good ones. That's what he says. Although now he's actually coming every week now. Or every show now. So I guess all of them are good ones. But he was here for the first one, the very first one, just like our other guest tonight. But you know him, you love him, the Belford.
What's up, everybody? Back at it again on Chill to Action here on the best day of the year, International Women's Day. And tonight, like as you all alluded to, in honor of International Women's Day, we have the First Lady of the Action Army, the manager of champions, that's with an S, champions, not just one championship, multiple champions, the one, the only, Miss Roxy Striar.
Whoa! Did you guys plan this? Did you know it was going to be Women's Day?
We knew everything.
We did.
Yes.
As any good professional does, they take full credit.
I mean, if you knew that if anybody was going to be on Women's Day, it had to be you.
Yeah, well, I am a woman, and it is a day. So,
There we are.
Solid.
Line.
Roxy is so cool. I gotta say, Roxy is so cool. She was on Chilled Action before it actually was even Chilled Action. We actually actively named it Chilled Action.
What was the name?
I don't remember what the
We
first
didn't
name
know
was.
exactly. You know what? I'm also going to push back against this because I believe that we did have the name Chill to Action because I remember making the thumbnail personally myself before we had Jake on for this. We're going to have to check the tape on that. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Chill to Action history. We're not here to talk about C2A history. We are here to talk to the one, the only, the manager of the Stars, Miss Roxy Striar. Thank you so much, Roxy, for hanging out with us on this Monday night.
Yeah, I feel like I've been a nightmare so far. Like anytime, I don't know what it is, but like you guys know I don't do many other shows right now, probably because I do my show every single day. So I'm just like tapped. But every time, like this is the show. So PLD, I don't know. I've been such just a nightmare. And finally you threw out the time and I was like, Rox, are you smoking crack? Just show up. Like, what are you? Just figure it out. What's going on? So yeah, thank you for being patient with me, friends.
Oh, always. We're definitely patient for the ones who are worth it, and you are certainly worth it. So.
Well, that's why Billy Belford's here. We already established he only shows up for the ones,
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That's
correct. Roxy, it's been you've had such a crazy year with Live with the Roxy, going live every single day. So going into free agency, getting ready for the draft, none of that could have been easy with everything going on in the crazy 2020 year that we had. So what was your mindset getting ready for free agency and the draft?
Wow, this is so funny because I actually haven't really talked about this. When you're just quarantined by yourself and so you're just going through the motions and then just shit kept rolling. So going into it, I was one of the lucky ones who didn't have to make many decisions about who I was keeping on my team. I do not envy the position of managers who had to do that. And that's not to say that there weren't other people on my team that were worthy of keeping. I have made it very clear that Stacey Howard I feel like she's my soul sister. I am so obsessed with her. But I had 3 champions on my team. So I feel like I was the only one where it was like, there's just you would have to be either a moron or a future seer to give up a champion. That would be really, really stupid. Right. And not only did I have 3 champions, but I had 3 champions who I love. And I think that that's no surprise to anybody either. Everybody knows where I stand with Odd Couple. And Damon and I have developed a really close relationship. And I value it greatly. And I also just think he is the best. And when I have people like Draco and Snyder who are more, I don't actually know the right word for this, but I have to be a more hands-on manager with them. Damon is not as, I guess, time consuming. And so having that balance is like such a perfect, if those are your 3, it was really nice to know that I had those 3 on lock. So that was easy for me. The next part was really hard. The draft was like a nightmare. And it was to the point where I don't think I had fun. I don't think I was I was like just so stressed out because there's a lot on the line this year. There's a lot of money on the line this year. There's a lot of notoriety on the line. I know that every player that I take on my team, I need to protect. So I need to be ready to fight for those people. And as you guys may or may not have seen, right off the bat, right after my draft, I started getting fucking attacked left and right for some of my picks. So like you have to be so sure of who you're taking, and you have to care about these people before you even know them. And you have to know these people before you care about them. So it's like, it was really, really stressful. And I was doing so much research, and then there was a leak in the camp, and people started hearing who I was thinking about, and I was hearing who other people were thinking about. So I just completely like shut it down to my legit core and stopped talking to anybody else, which meant that there were some people that I was drafting that I was not even speaking to, and I knew that they were on my radar, but I couldn't let them know they were on my radar. So the draft felt like I felt like a Russian spy. Like it really felt like it was so hard. And I'm thrilled with how it turned out. And luckily I'm just completely obsessed with every single person I drafted. And I'm loving my faction, but it was a nightmare to get to that point.
Did you find out who the leak was?
It's hard to tell because you never know. People make things up. So you don't know if they actually know or if they're claiming to know. But it's also hard, too, because one of the questions, whenever I was talking to any rookies, I would ask them, what other managers are you talking to? And they would tell me. And so there just was too much information out there for me to even know who has said what and what does that mean. And a lot of this also being that you have to have a plan A, B, C. I was drafting 6th. So I had to have 6 different first picks. Right. in my head, which meant that I really needed to have so many. I know you guys worked on and saw all of the mock drafts, but that was me. I mean, I had like journals and journals of this and my whiteboards everywhere, and bless the 3 that I was keeping for taking my 2 a.m. phone calls and like hearing me ramble about the same things over and over again. Like I called Damon about the exact same thing like 15 times. I mean, I just kept calling him about this one because I first wanted to make sure he knew how much he is my priority. And then I needed to make sure he realized that he could not be our only Star Wars player. But that luckily he does not have ego involved in this because he's just a doll. But like just trying to manage even that, like I have to go for a big hitter because one of the biggest flaws in my game last year was the fact that I didn't have anybody to play Star Wars because Damon just played one time and held on to the belt that one time because he's a beast. But I had nobody. So that's why I ended up having to trade for Quevedo. And that is how I lost JTE, which messed up my singles tournament bracket, the whole thing. Everything just was like trying to play catch up because we didn't know how the year was going to look. So yeah, it was just, I called him about the same thing, like the same 3 players that I was looking at and over and over. And he was just so nice about it. But you know, he's just probably like, does she not remember? She just asked me this. It's like, I remember. Yeah, I did. I tried to get my brother to come play Star Wars. I asked him because he's really good. And he is super nerdy and he's great at studying. And so I was like, I think he would be gangster at this. I thought that he might be a really good pick. And honestly, I don't know what would have happened there. I think Quevedo also is much better than he performed. So that happens sometimes too. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask that the three players you kept asking Damon about, did they actually end up being on the team or any?
Certainly. Zach was a huge one that I kept asking about. Obviously. And it was more than three, but really at the end of the day, I was heavily looking at Zach. I was really looking at Harper. Anybody was. And I was looking at Molly. And especially because they're such a great duo. I was looking at Marie also. There was a ton of people that I was looking at. But when I have Damon and last year, another flaw in my system was that I gave him no support. We had nobody for him to study with in IG. I had nobody for him to study with in Star Wars. The rest of the players can kind of help, but when you're not an IG player or a Star Wars player, you can't, you're coming up with questions. It's like I'm Googling things. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I wanted him to feel like he had somebody who really had his back. And Zach's like his best friend, and Molly's obviously the love of his life. So those were two really, really good options for me. Thomas also being a very close friend of his as well. And so I just figured I really want to give him somebody that he can study with. I really want to give him somebody who can support him, that he can support and coach and all of that. And I looked heavily at Molly, but thought about when it came to tournament season, what seed she would get. And when you have losses on your resume as opposed to not having any losses, you automatically have to play a much harder player. Yeah, and so I just felt like she was going to have a harder journey than somebody coming in fresh. And I really, really like Molly. And that was, I think, a very, very tough decision because I think she is so good. I just think for some of the rookies coming in, they're going to have easier journeys than some of the vets who have L's.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's funny how the Star Wars has changed from last year to this year, because last year you got Alex Damon in the third round. He was the first Star Wars player off the board, and it was kind of like a smattering of Star Wars. Now this year it's like everybody prioritized Star Wars. So to already have Alex and then to go get Zach, I feel like that's a really big coup for the Stars to have that in. Now you have two top tier Star Wars players.
Yeah, I think that with quarantine and with now all of the new matches that have been announced, we're playing so many more IG and Star Wars matches than we've ever played before. And honestly, I did not realize that we were going to, I knew it was a possibility, but there's going to be a 1-person Star Wars tournament, and then there's going to be a 2-person Star Wars tournament. And really what people needed to do is have 2 Star Wars players on their team, unless they're me, who has a champion who is very likely not going to lose the belt at any point this year, who really needs to have 3 Star Wars players on her team by the time that we get to that tournament, which is in months. And so that's going to be another, I'm like Donkey Kong jumping the barrels, and the barrels are coming and I'm just jumping.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to see now. Obviously, Damon has been so dominant for so long. He's definitely the greatest player in the history of the showdown as far as Star Wars, at least, if not more than that at this point. But there's that big hype about the Dragon Con players. How is he really feeling about that? Is he excited? Does he want to face them, or is he?
Yeah, definitely.
He's excited.
What's interesting about Damon, and different than a lot of the other champions in the league, and I don't say this to knock any of the other champions, but Damon never says I didn't get enough time to study for this, or this match wasn't scheduled far enough in advance, or I wish I was playing somebody a little easier this time. Damon wants to be the best, and to be the best you have to beat the best, and Damon always wants to play anyone. Damon wants to play anyone, anytime, anywhere. And I love that about him. And so he wants to be the best. He wants to know more about Star Wars than any other person in the Schmodown, no matter who comes in. So he wants to play whoever is the best. And that very likely is going to be the Dragon Con people, and very, very likely is going to be Zach. And that's going to be an interesting position for us to be in. But I think that right now the conversations seem to be around Thomas and Zach. And it sounds to me like people believe that Thomas has the edge. I obviously don't believe that, and have done a lot of footage watching and have a lot of insider knowledge on this. But I think that Damon wants to play them and wants to beat anybody who gets in his way and wants to hold on to the belt forever. Forever. He just wants to. Damon gets pissed when he misses a question, no matter what the score is.
Which is so weird.
It doesn't matter.
He doesn't ever look like he's affected. Like, I don't know if it's just his, like,
because he's a perfect person, and I am truly obsessed with him. He is like just cool, calm, and collected. I'm a psychopath, and he is so chill and so cool, and that's transferred over to IG as well. And so, you know, for us, priority one for him has to be keeping the belt. That's priority one, always has to be. But luckily, that's what he does for a living. So, like, that is his job all the time, is knowing the most about Star Wars. So that once that is like, you know, he's always doing that, then priority two is making him an IG champ. And so luckily, those two things are not completely separate realms. They have to do with one another. But yeah, he's awesome. I can't say enough good things. He's also just a really good stand-up dude who is just a great person, a great friend, a great partner. Like, he's all of those things. And so he's just an absolute joy. Any manager would be lucky. I will cry if any of them ever take him from me. I hope to never let that happen. I think he is so great.
So speaking of the Intergeekdom division, you have, so with Alex Damon, you have one of the best people in the world, and also on your Intergeekdom roster, you have one of the worst people in the world. Brandon Hanna. That was a very, very fun pick to watch. So you picked up Brandon Hanna and Janine the Machine. Those are excellent picks, and I personally think that they both should work very well with a manager like you. And I was super excited whenever I saw them go to the Stars. So what were your mindset bringing them onto the team?
For Brandon, he was straight up the best IG player on the board, and I think I go back to the time in which people were positive he was going to be the next IG champion, you know, when him and Chandru were neck and neck there. And I think that the Schmodown, as much as I love the Schmodown fans, they are so short-sighted sometimes. Like, the second something happens with Jeff Snyder, they're like, he's not on the Mount Rushmore, and we don't even know. It's like they forget about who he is. And that happens all the time with great players. And so this has definitely happened with Brandon Hanna, who I think is excellent. And I'm putting a lot of eggs in his basket. I mean, that was a huge, huge risk in the first round, because he is somebody who people have said is hot and cold. I think that he really needed some help, not because he can't do it by himself, but because this is really hard. When you are in IG, which at this point, to me, it might be the toughest division. I don't know. I go back. I am always changing my mind, but it's a beast. It's a really big beast. And for him to have never had a stable relationship with a manager, that sucks. To not have that support, to not have people in his corner helping him, strategizing with him, faction mates who are rooting for him, but not just rooting for him casually, like really helping him grow and figure all of the things out that he needs to know, which is where the division, this is where the league is at this point. You know, it's not where it was when I started. It's at a completely different place. So I just felt like the thing missing from him wasn't him, it was somebody else. And so I really hope to be that person for him, because I really, really believe in Brandon Hanna. And I also know him personally, and we were together at AfterBuzz, and I've known him for many years. And I really like Brandon Hanna. I think that he I like that he's got grit. He's got attitude. He does not give a flying fuck. He really doesn't.
He's a New England kid too, so you know he's got that going for him.
He's got a lot going for him, and I think that also being somebody who used to be in a relationship with somebody who was in the Schmodown, when you are in a relationship with somebody in the Schmodown, you sometimes have an edge because it's all you're talking about with your partner. And so knowing that his partner is Sabrina, knowing that she's involved, knowing that what they like to do together is like movies and drill each other and wink, wink, all those things. I think that also, like, he's just got a lot in his corner right now, and I'm really hoping that he can take it very far this year. And I think that he can, and I think that him and Alex will work really well together too, helping to train each other, because they're pretty evenly matched as well.
It's also funny that because you get Brandon Hanna, now you have Alex Damon, and Brandon Hanna, the 2 losses to Chandru, he lost both. The final questions that he missed were both Star Wars questions. And then he basically lost to Alex Damon in the IG tournament kind of because of Star Wars. So now he gets a chance to, like, fill in that hole working with Alex Damon. And then also, like you said earlier, now Alex Damon has somebody to work with on IG.
Redemption is going to be Brandon Hanna's for sure. And then I want to make sure that I get to another person that you mentioned, which is Janine the Machine, who, like, if anybody's been listening to me on after shows or Collider Live back to those days, like, everybody knows that I talked about working with her forever. I talk about she is the single person who has had the worst luck in the Schmodown of any player. And I call it that because they say what luck is when opportunity meets timing, and those things just didn't meet for her. They didn't meet. And I don't know why. I don't know why that didn't meet earlier for her, because she has had some great managers, and she has had a lot of people who have cared a lot about her, and she has had people root for her, but I don't know that they've opened up the right doors for her. And so I see somebody who, like, has been giving it her all and probably feels exhausted. Not to mention that just, like, in general, being a woman in the Schmodown is exhausting. And then on top of that, think about the fucking year that we've had with not only everything that's gone on with quarantine, but the BLM movement and everything that Janine has been through in her life and everything that she's had to face on the internet all of these things. Like, I think that she is so knowledgeable. I think that she is so dedicated. And I think she's had a really tough, wrong go at it. And that is not fair. And I'm planning on supporting the fuck out of her this year, whatever that means. And just, like, you know, whatever that looks like. And I think that partially for her, that means bringing the fun back to it, reminding her that, like, she actually loves this, and that's cool. And when you love something, you want to spend more time at it and you want to work at it and all of those things. So I'm tired of her being exhausted by this, because I am hoping this can be an uplifting thing for her, something that's more of an escape and more of a sanctuary and less of a hell pit. And, you know, there's only so much I can do there. Hopefully the fans help me out with that one, because a lot of it's on them.
I was excited. I remember because we've always been a big Janine supporters. She's been an original Action Army person since day one. And I always thought when you announced her, I thought that was the perfect match. I think you were the perfect manager for her, because she needs support. That she needs strong support. I think she's kind of gotten down on herself a few times because she's had that bad luck. But with someone like you in her corner, I think she can really take that next step. I'm hoping that's the case too. Me
too. And I think it is. She's really fucking nasty good. Like, people underestimate her as a player too. She's not a B player. She's an A player. And she's looked at as a B player sometimes, and it's just not the case.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the times in her past runs, there's been, like, external pressures been put upon her to try to, like, be something, like, be the next face of the Schmodown, be the next Rachel Cushing, be the next, you know, you got to beat Ethan Earthwind's partner to take him to a title. Now she's with the rock stars, because traditionally with Roxy, it's be yourself and, be the best version of yourself. And that, I think, is what Janine needs to be. Just be herself and be the best version of herself.
Yeah. Yeah. She's enough, and this is in her to do. And she's been at this long enough that she has earned it. And so I think that if luck does exist, then she has created the opportunity and the timing is right, and it's now.
Okay. Now, I want to actually bring up something you mentioned earlier about the faction just being big importance as far as the faction battles go this year. You're one of the first managers in the league. Like, you were back before there was factions, you were one of the managers who were there. What do you think about the evolution of where you were back in the day to where we are now? Just the Schmoedown in general, and then you're also your place in it.
I feel like all things grow and change, and that's good. I also kind of feel like the old grandma who's like, back in my day, it was so, and people were nicer, and it was so fun and casual. I will say about it now, this is the most time-consuming commitment ever. And I do it because I love it. And if you do not love it, then you have to be a sociopath to be a manager, because this is fantasy football. This is me spending all of my time, like any extra time I have, which TBH is none, is on this. Like, I am talking to my players every day, and we've got a lot of them, and we've got so many matches. And there are so many different divisions, and it's just so time consuming. So it is really different. And I think that it's no longer it depends on how this grows, because I do it because I love it. And for as long as I love it, and as long as I'm able, I'm going to keep on doing it. And as long as Christian will have me,
right? Because
it is a privilege to be here. And there are a lot of people who would want to be in my shoes. And I do feel very lucky to have been here for as long as I have, especially knowing how much I piss Christian off.
That's one of our favorite moments.
Oh my God. I this year especially, I wish you guys could see what's happening behind the scenes. This year especially, I thought he was going to throw me off of a bridge. I am not kidding you. I mean, he has sent me some text messages. I've had to send some crazy. I've called him multiple times and been like, I'm really sorry. I'm very sorry. That was super cunty. I'm really, my bad. Can we start over? Let me explain myself. No, wait, let me just apologize. Like, it has been, because the tensions are high. And also because we don't know about the merch, none of us know what's really on the line right now.
Right.
And like, the fact that this could be worth tens of thousands of dollars at the end of the year, I can't pretend that doesn't exist.
Right.
That's nuts. And for somebody like me, and maybe for you guys, and I know for a lot of my players, that feels like life-changing. So, but we just don't know. So you don't want to get too excited, but you also don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist. And so every match matters to me. Everyone feels like the Super Bowl. Going into, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, and no spoilers, but or maybe spoilers, you guys will tell me. Going into my match this last weekend, I vomited. I literally felt like I was I was so stressed. And
right.
You put your whole soul into something, and we're up every hour of every day I'm spending until 4 a.m. and strategizing and thinking, and like you give it everything you've got. And I don't know that all the managers are doing that. I know at least 2 other ones who are doing it. I think there's probably several more. And honestly, every manager is giving it more this year than last year. So it's just like, I don't know that I just even answered your question, but the difference between then and now is monumental, huge. It doesn't even resemble itself anymore.
Well, that actually brings up a good point. I mean, obviously you've had your on-screen rivalries with Shannon. That's been fun. You've had with Winston. Had it gotten cutthroat? Does that start bleeding over into reality, given how much is on the line at this point?
So I think everybody knows that Winston and I are like best friends. So,
Right.
you know, he can hand me as many L's as he wants. Hopefully that's never happens again. But like,
Don't clip this out.
so I'm actually legitimately friends with every single one of the managers. I don't know that they are all friends with each other, but I am honestly friends with each one of them. I like every one of them. I think that each one of them deserves to be there, and I have a personal relationship with them all. So, you know, like I have all their phone numbers. I text all of them. They are all important people in my life. The only person it's ever actually gotten heated with, who is a good friend of mine, is Shannon, and it's the only person it ever actually bled over into real life with.
All right.
Yeah, I think probably if you ask, there's 8 of us, right? I think probably 7 of us would all say that.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which I kind of love about her. Like,
Yeah,
she is ballsy. I mean, the text messages that, and what I mean by that is the threats that I receive.
she's a Texan and she's a nurse. Like, that's 2 things that are like you don't mess with.
And she's a badass and she's a winner.
Yeah.
That's true.
And those are things that I cannot ignore. And so, you know, she's intense. I was shocked, but she's intense. She's intense. I would say this right to her. And if you're listening, Shannon, you know you're intense. Same. I'm intense too, but
wow,
you're my girl, but you're a lot too.
To be a fly on the wall for that, I guess. To be a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah.
Well, now we know the Odd Couple are your boys. We actually want to look at a video of when they formed, since you were there when that happened. We thought it'd be nice to have you like kind of look at it and just like kind of maybe take us back a little bit and see what your thoughts were at the time.
Let's go.
The In-Snyder, Jeff Snyder, the former champion.
Yes. A man I've never faced on the table.
Well, you might have the opportunity to.
Yes, sir.
His partner, Mark Andreyko.
I love
I think
Snyder's
Jeff finally
reaction
woke
to
up from that
it.
long nap he's had since
That was so cute. That was so cute.
No one has.
Out of him.
Oh no.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
Roxy Striar has to deal with Snyder.
You shut your mouth.
And there's
Roxy,
the glue.
Your mouth. You're going to show up?
Oh, really good job with the graphic on me,
You
guys.
come back to Striar? Okay.
That's pretty good crack, right?
Mark is a mensch, if that's any consolation.
So that's that.
I
Let's
mean,
back to that.
My favorite thing, and my favorite thing about being a manager is that, like, Jeff and Mark love each other so much that it is unbelievable. And they would it just never would have happened without the Schmodown. Because in what world? In what world? I mean, it's just so great. And like last year, and I won't get too much into it because it's not my shit to tell, but Mark was going through a lot. And we were having major scheduling issues for the Odd Couple. And it looked like at some point we were going to have to not play because it was just really, really not working. And Jeff called me and was like, I legitimately do not care about this. I do not care. We pull out because we're not if Draco's not with me, I'm not here. Like we're not doing this. And I was like, wow, I don't know somebody who cares more about this game than Jeff, and Jeff cares more about Andreyko than he does about the game, and that has been made abundantly clear. So I love them. I love them together. I love them individually. I love both of them so much, and I feel like they were brought into my life for a reason. Both of them, they're really, really good people.
Wow, that's an awesome story. That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, you just told that. That was the other video we had in place. This is the more recent one. Let's get it up there.
And your winner
literally the same thing right now. Forever.
Hard love forever.
How was that moment?
You guys you have no idea, because here's what I'll say. Oh my God, look at me! I was crying. Okay, so what's so incredible about this is that the people who are, let's hope Christian doesn't kill me right now, and I won't say too much, Christian, I swear, but the people who are privileged enough to have seen what happened in that match, the not edited version, are watch that and know what a triumph that was. This was one of the messiest matches I've ever been a part of. It was internet tumultuous. I mean, just everybody was at their wits' end. That was one of the hardest, and I don't mean hardest like level of questions. It was definitely one of the hardest moments of the Schmodown ever. And so it was incredible. To win with them is everything. Every win that I have with with both of them together or either of them separately, it feels like I'm in heaven. Like I can't even describe the feeling and what it's like to win with those guys. But this win after the day, I mean, I got a text from Christian during the match. Christian, don't kill me. And he said, I quit. That is literally what the text message said, because just nothing was going right. I mean, everything, every turn that could have been, bless anybody who worked on that match. And Shazam, who were so gracious and so incredible to be with. They were so, this made me go from doing that thing where I went on shows and antagonized the Beast to, I don't say one bad word about him anymore, because I literally was like, I saw your soul and you are too good for me to do my thing anymore. Like it was a tough match. And so, yeah, all of them were so great. In that moment when we won, it was like, it felt like I was flying.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
I looked down my phone and it just said, I quit. I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Well, we'll go
what do the rest of us do?
It's a tough. Christian has one of the most stressful jobs I could ever imagine.
I believe it.
I mean, I cannot. I think it's challenging to be a manager. I cannot even. Christian, I'm on the phone with Christian like 5 times a week.
Oh,
I'm one person, and he's doing that with every person, and all of the players and all of the managers and all of the editors, like everything. So I cannot even imagine, which is why I often call him and apologize for being a cunt. And I'll be like, I'm so sorry, because I forget I'm not the only one. And so I'll like ream him out being like, why is this the match? And you offer me this one match and I asked for this match. And then it's just like, dude, stop being a bitch. Like he's like, it's just too much sometimes. And so I cannot even imagine. I cannot. And he does such a great job for what it is, but sometimes he is also at his wit's end. So yeah, it's just, I quit. I'm done. Tapped.
Tap it out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna say we'll go. I want to talk really briefly, at least. We'll get into some spoilers now. Everybody knows about Friday's match. We're gonna go from the thrill of victory to the agony of issues that we had to defeat. Obviously, talk us through a little bit of that. I mean, how first of all, how's Jeff doing at this point? I know he took it hard. He obviously was taking it hard. How's he doing?
It was one of the hardest losses that we've ever had. It was really bad. I think that it was really hard for several reasons. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but there's something about Jeff that doesn't stick with people. Like, if Dan loses, nobody calls Dan a loser. But when Jeff loses once, people stop calling him Player of the Year. People stop remember, like, he just won Player of the Year. We just had these conversations where everybody was like, he solidified his spot on Mount Rushmore 100%. And now all of a sudden, every comment and every person's like, he didn't even deserve to play Dan Murrell. Like, and the best of all time is Murrell, and then the best of now is Colin. Snyder's nothing. And it's like, are you guys morons? Are you morons? So it's hard because of that, because nobody gives him the benefit of the doubt, and no matter what, he's always the underdog, which is wild, because to me he's just the best, and not even to me, to people with eyes and ears and who watch. So that's hard. It was also hard because it was his first match of the year,
right? And
him and Dan has been so built up, and then it was challenging because. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it was unfair, because it happens both ways all the time. But it was challenging because of all of the conversation around the 5-point questions. Mm-hmm. And so for all of those reasons, it was really hard. And I think, both Jeff and I, a lot of people have really hard quarantines. But when I went back home for a month, Jeff was home, and we went on a social distance walk, and he came to my town, and we were walking around, and him and I both have just had kind of like tough goes at it. And we've had similar upbringings. We're from literally 15 minutes from each other, and having both experienced extreme loss in the last several years of a parent, and just all the things that both of us have gone through. And, I've met his whole family because they come and they support him for things and all of that. I feel a ridiculous connection to Jeff. I know how he's feeling. I feel him in my soul, and I cannot, there's no amount of words I can say about him to express how much I really, truly love Jeff Snyder. And like, when people come at him because he does, like, whatever his toolish things are that he does, where he tweets whatever he tweets about people calling their parents back or whatever, like whatever he does, I need everyone to know how genuinely incredible he is as a human, and like how much he rides for the people. He has a very select people. Like, he picks out the people in his life, and then he'll do anything for them. So he's amazing. And so after the match, I FaceTimed him, and he was sitting with his dad, and we were on FaceTime, and, his dad had been sitting next to him for the whole match. And his dad just looked at me and was like, he really tried. And I was like, I know. Of course he did. And it was just like fucking heartbreaking, because Jeff was saying, he was like, he was like, it wasn't just Florence Pugh. It was also nominated, was also, and then, did you know that and I was like, I know, but this question was phrased like this, and I know, and he knows I was just proud of him for saying no comment, because it could have been a lot of comments, but it was tough. It was really tough. And then, we go to the Facebook group, and people were writing about, and this is how it goes. It's the fans' job to do this, but they're writing about like, so is he going to admit that Dan is the GOAT? Is he going to say it out loud? And I literally wrote, can everybody just chill? Like, it's so hard when you lose. It's so hard. And this was a big one, but luckily it's the first match of the season. And if anybody knows how to come back, it's Jeff. And I'm not even calling it a comeback, because it was one match. He lost
Dan Murrell.
Yeah.
He lost one match to Dan Murrell. So it is going to be a little bit of a journey to get that belt.
Right.
And we're going to go on that journey, and we're going to get it, because at this point, this is fucking ridiculous. At this point, this is ridiculous. And I want to put it all to bed. And honestly, instead of getting sad, I'm going to get mad, because this is ridiculous. Everybody talks about how he's the best teams player of all time. That's no shit at this point. Like, come on, there's zero argument in anybody else's direction. But for him to be as strong as a player as he is just at this point, that's the belt that we got to go get. And Jeff won't even say that out loud because I don't even think he'll let himself think that, because he's like, it seems to be the belt that we just can't fucking grab. And this is the time we're going to have to do it. So.
Well, we are definitely big Jeff Snyder fans on Golf Action. We've always been talking behind the scenes how we love Jeff, how he plays. We love how he plays with the hardest sleeve. You want to love somebody like that. You want them to succeed. He's fun. He's good.
He's the best. Oh my God, he is the best. Yeah. And Draco texting me for the match, just so supportive of him too. The whole team was. Everybody, our group text message afterwards was just like, nobody even knew what to say. It was so. It felt so sad. Because just going into it, we were all positive he was going to win, and you can never be positive about that. So yeah, it was just we were not prepared for an L, and I think the only one who was Jeff, who was like, you heard him say, he was like, "Go easy on me, Dan," or whatever. Dan, anybody who's playing Dan has to know that there is a chance that Dan takes it, because Dan is Dan.
Right.
Dan's gone perfect before, and it's always a possibility of him going perfect. So it's what you got to deal with. Yeah.
Well, speaking of going perfect rounds, Roxy Striar, you have been going live on your channel, live at the Roxy, almost every single day since quarantine.
350
every single day.
Yeah.
Not almost. Every
Roxy is the GOAT going live for sure. That is 100% undeniable.
He's the greatest at something. Yeah, I just totally. I watched Rob Fishback put together. I think he is putting together a series of videos, but I watched the first one that was like me leading up to the announcement. And just to be clear, it was like super duper not my intention to go live for a year. I was never thinking that I was going to go live for a year. I wasn't trying to be some like, I'm going to go live every day for a year. I thought quarantine was going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah. We all were.
So that's legitimately what happened. I made the announcement, I'm going to be with you guys live every day of quarantine. You've got me thinking that I wasn't going to be like this, like martyr. I was going to do 2 weeks of shows. And I was like, wow, 14 days is going to be a lot of days in a row, but I can do it. That was hundreds of days ago. I mean, we were talking hundreds of days ago. And so
you've moved while going on. Like,
I moved. I mean, I literally have gone through everything. I did the show from when I was taping my Quibi show. I was filming in the dressing room. I've done the show from my car. I did the show from the lake when I was with Steph on New Year's. I've done the show during the move. I've done the show in the corner. With no chairs in my place. I've done the show I've done the show anywhere that I've been. I did it from Boston for a month. Yeah. I mean, I did the show from everywhere because I just said I was going to go live every day of quarantine. And so I don't know whether it's cheating or not, but to me, I'm ending it I'm not ending it. I'm stopping going every day at 365 days because that's the day that I'm getting my second vaccination. So that is the end of quarantine for Rox, and it just happens to be 365 days. So it feels like I held up my promise as long as that is. And then I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be live all of the fucking time. I'm not making as good of a show as I can make right now because I'm not breathing.
You think you burned out by now? I mean, come on.
It's not even that I'm burnt out, although I fucking am burnt out. But it's more like, what do I want to do with this? Like, on maybe one day a week, I actually produce my show, and like have segments and guests and things that I really want to do. I'm a storyteller. So there's a lot of things that I would like to be able to do. It's my show, so I should be able to spend some time working on it. And also things like this that I have not been able to do. I don't go on anybody's shows about anything anymore because I'm just like, I'm drowning. So I cannot, because I'm alive every day. I've worked every day. And ironically, 365 days is on a Monday, and I know that I have SEN on Tuesdays. So I don't think I'm going to have that day off. And then Wednesdays, we know I have Whirl Girls. So I don't think I'm going to have that day off either. So I don't actually know when the first day off I'm going to have is.
That's going to be a glorious day for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what I'll do. I haven't not worked for a day in a year. I literally, I don't even know. I don't know what to make of it. It feels uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
You do your job though. You're making a lot of people happy. I mean, you know how the rock stars love for. I've been there from day one.
I would doing it for them, and they were 100% doing it for me. So
well,
that was abundantly clear very quickly. Big celebration March 21st on the Whirl Girls channel. Yeah, that is true. We are doing a big ass marathon over there.
Yeah,
well,
the Rockstars have definitely, and the Whirl Friends community have definitely created a very, very nice close-knit family. It's been very fun to see. But yeah, like Paul was trying to say, we are gonna head over to our second
segment. We're gonna go into this or that.
Whoa!
Look at that. We have this segment on Chilled Action where we do this or that. I'm going to give Roxy two different options. She can ask me for clarification if she wants. She can make up her own clarification because she's a storyteller, whatever she wants to do. We have something we do every week, although it's getting difficult because I realize some of them are food related, and most of all of my food related ones involve cheese. So I had to audible. So I don't longer. You know your stance on cheese.
Oh, my stance on cheese is that it's a trash thing that was invented. It's fucking mold, and you're all sick.
This is like
sick in the head.
Could possibly be the arch nemesis of our Twitch Tuesday show. So.
I hate it so much.
How you feel about bread, Roxy? You like bread?
Yeah, I do like bread.
You know, bread's made from yeast, which is basically mold, right?
But it's not. It's not. Cool. It's not mold though. And also, I don't dislike cheese because it's mold. I dislike cheese and it's mold.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I made a false equivalency. My bad.
All right, let's get it going right from the get-go. I'll start with the Schmodown one. Do you prefer studio tapings or live events?
Live events.
Live events, by far. It seems like.
Yeah, by far. Are you kidding? They're so great.
All right.
Oh, I love the live events. Oh. I told Christian I would like to go to every live event, and when he doesn't bring me to live events, I actually get pretty butthurt about it.
I've heard about that before.
Yeah,
it's funny that it's like the joke, the old joke of "Can I come?" And then,
yeah. Well, you guys know I have serious, and I joke about it all the time with the Whirl Girls, but I have severe FOMO, like crippling FOMO. I don't want to miss out on anything, hence why I don't sleep. I just keep going. I do the show every day. Like I cannot miss out. So when there's an event and I'm not there, I feel like I'm dying. It feels like somebody is like on purpose trying to suffocate me.
We all feel the same way because we all try to go to every single one of them.
Yeah,
I think we all met in Houston, all of us, all of us here, and Jake, everything else. So that was
yeah, that was such a sick live event.
Yeah,
God, that was fun. All right, moving on to the next one. Whiskey or wine?
Whiskey.
That's my girl. That's
for sure. For sure.
Living in Boston or living in LA?
Like for what? Like what would I rather if it wasn't for the fact that I have to live here?
Yeah, let's take everything else out. You had your choice. Nothing else matters. Boston or LA?
Boston.
Back to Boston. All right.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. The weather sucks, but my family is there.
The Patriots or Tom Brady?
The Patriots. Still
going with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Jake clipped it out. She chose something over Tom Brady.
I did. I love Tom Brady, but I would like to think that at the end of the day, Tom Brady would say the Patriots over Tom Brady too.
We'll have to find out. They will play each other next year. Yeah, Jake. Okay. Speaking of Jake, And there's Jake's
It looked like you were giving me the middle finger, and then it was your thumbs. What, Jake? What?
Speaking of Jake, after that's actually the perfect time to ask this: Jake or Brandy?
Oh my God!
That's very rude, Paul.
It is very
Wow.
Rude.
That's a really good one.
Ross is good.
The easiest question yet. It's Brandy, 100%.
Brandy.
I'm on team.
What the fuck?
Okay, I mean, it's a really good question because I'm honestly trying to think about it. Here. There are many problems with this right now. Brandy is my hometown girl, and I've known her much longer than I've known Jake. So Brandy's like my OG. Jake I talk to more often and legitimately would not have a show without. So there's that part as well. Jake drinks with me more. Brandy drinks with nobody and drinks with me. This is tough. I mean, this is dead ass. They're dead ass even. I don't think I can answer that one. That's the hardest question I've ever been asked in my life.
Perfect. I'm glad I asked it then. It's all right. We know you can't say with him on screen, so we'll say right now we'll go team Brandy. That's what we are.
I mean, I love her so much, but I can't even front and pretend like Jake is not my person. Like I need them both. They just both have to stick around.
Yeah.
I get it. I actually like the guy sometimes.
It's Brandy.
I mean, it's Break. Oh, that's a good ship name. Break.
Better than Brandy. Breaks.
All right, I'll give you a call and an easier one. We'll go some music ones. How the Rolling Stones or the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
The Chili Peppers is my favorite band.
I knew they were. I thought that was your answer. How about this one then? We'll go Springsteen or Petty.
Definitely Springsteen. What was that, like a Bateman versus Roxy thing? Those are our two like rival bands.
I thought that's where you go.
I'm in a Springsteen shirt all day today. I just changed. It's Springsteen for life, but Petty is like a top 5 for me as well. I love them both, but Springsteen is like my top 3.
Okay.
So
I did talk to Rob Fishbeck a little bit about this. We're kind of putting some things together. He wanted to ask Joker or Catwoman.
Huh. For what? A movie?
Cool movie.
In bed? A movie. Would I rather
go in bed too? I'll show go in bed better. Let's sleep in bed.
I think both of them would be Catwoman, actually.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What Kelsey has to say about that? We'll have to talk to her about that when she comes on screen. About last one, then we'll go Boston. How about Matty Damon or Ben Affleck?
Oh, I mean, it's so hard because of all the reasons. I hear that Matt Damon is a much better person than Ben Affleck is.
Okay.
I would believe that.
So I want to say Matt Damon, but like nobody gets more Boston than Ben Affleck. I mean, he's just like the most Boston ever. And he was Batman. And Good Will Hunting's my favorite movie, so this is a both of them thing. I mean, wow, I really feel bad about this, but I guess the answer is Affleck. I don't feel good. I don't feel good about that answer, though. I just want you guys to know that.
So that could change if we ask him a week or so.
I don't feel good about that. I know that it should be Matt.
Okay, fair enough. All right, that's going to be the end for that. For now, you survived your little quick, brief segment to this or that. We do have some chat questions and some Patreon questions that I want to.
Yeah, what's up?
As well, but let's get Kelsey on screen. Miss Kelsey, how are you doing?
What's up?
Doing good. Super excited. Got some awesome Patreon questions for you guys.
You have the cutest voice on the planet. I've thought that so many times.
Oh, thank you.
And yes, Rob, you do have one video question I do want to throw up there as well. I did forget. I almost forgot about that one. So we should probably start with that one.
We'll start with that one.
The video question somebody wanted to send in. See how you answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a question for Roxy Striar. Is it Striar or Striar? I wanted to know that, when you're managing the rock stars, great name, by the way, are you thinking constantly, like, what would my brother do in this situation? And then, like, you try to do that. Like, is that your strategy when you're successful? I mean, obviously, when you're not successful, it's just on you. But when you are successful, is it how much of a percentage would you say it's because of like the influence he's had on you? With like 90%, or is it higher? Just curious. I'll take your answer off air or on air, either way. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
It's just like, number one, he didn't even get my team name right.
Love the support.
Like, we're just the stars now. Oh my God! Speaking of which, that we all got sent shirts, and everybody got their shirt a legit month ago, and finally mine came today, and I was so stoked about it. First bit of apparel from them, and I will take it. Do I think what would my brother do? No, at no point. At no point. Honestly, my Jet helps me with so much shit. Like, he legit made it so that I could host DC Movie News. He trained me for everything, but like, he would suck at being a manager in the movie Trivia Schmodown. He'd be a much better player, but as a manager, it's just too much. And he hates math and sucks at math. And honestly, a huge part of my job is math. Like, it's the stat stuff is like wicked challenging.
Fair enough. That's the answer, Jet.
Yeah. And also, who did he send that to? How do you even send in video questions?
Where are you?
You got a guy.
We got a guy. It was a guy.
There's a guy that
we know a lot of people.
I love that he's like in the community now, though. Like, because he comes into the Whirl Friends like chat all the time, and he pops on, and because he's active on social, and he's also a host and in radio and stuff. So he's now just like in the community, and I'm fucking living for that.
Love
so
it.
Fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're happy to have him here. We're happy to have him here too in this chat. So,
he says I was an NAA championship winning coach. NAA was at the basketball league in growing up in our town. He coached, like, I think what they were middle schoolers. I'm very happy for you.
Hey, championship's a championship. That's all I gotta say about that.
Hey, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. We'll take him how we can get him.
All right,
Jeff,
Kelsey,
which one of us has a varsity letter? Just wondering. Is it me or my brother? You guys answer that question. Who has a varsity letter?
I'm gonna guess that's you.
I do. Yeah, I do have my varsity letter. Suck
What
it.
was your varsity letter in?
I don't want to say.
Oh, because I can't give us that and then not give it.
I don't want to say it. I can say what it's for, but then I will be taking no follow-up questions, and you guys will not understand why it's weird that I'm saying what it's for.
Okay, I'll take an answer. I'll take anything.
It's for. I got my varsity letter for lacrosse.
I think Jet just threw out of the bus. We're managing the cup. A
varsity letter's a varsity letter. Okay, take that.
You know what? The championship is a championship.
Hey,
The varsity
that's
letter
an
is a
award
varsity
for managing.
I have an official varsity letter. Thank you.
I gotta give it to you. All right, go ahead, Kelsey. What do we got there?
All right. First Patreon question we have is from John Lestrina saying, there is one important question. Dominic Toretto or Brian O'Connor?
Where do you guys stand?
I don't like these movies.
So I have
You don't like them?
I'm a Toretto guy.
I know. I kind of leaning that way too.
I go Patrick Swayze in Point Break because that's the real Fast and the Furious movie.
Okay, but you didn't even just answer the question at all. It feels mean to go against O'Connor. If that feels mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, fine. Then Brian O'Connor. Sure. I mean, I'm 50-50. They're both great. I love these movies.
Kels, what do you got?
Next question's from Weston Iro. Other than yourself, who do you think is the GOAT of managers in the MTS?
I think the best manager in MTS that is not me is Winston. He's really, really solid. And he's got a good balance of things. He's really good. I think though, I don't know that that's going to matter this year. it's gonna all depend, but who I think is the most dangerous this year is Kaiser, but not because he's a great manager.
Fair enough. Let's elaborate on that.
All right. Next question's also from Weston. What do you think about this anti-Winston conspiracy that's been going on?
Anti-Winston conspiracy. Do I know about this?
Well,
Chandru
and
like
Laura.
Oh,
Story-wise, throwing one of the bus.
yeah. I mean, I think that with some of these, like the Mominati and the, am I allowed to say that? And the anti-Winston thing, I'm kind of a flip-flopper. Like, depending on who I'm talking to, I'm like, no, that makes sense. Oh, no, I could see that too. And I gotta say, I'm a theater major, so like the storylines for me are everything. Those 2 scenes, I was like obsessed with those.
Yeah.
I know that didn't really answer your question, but like what I think about the anti-Winston storyline is how great is Grace?
Yeah.
I love Grace.
That was dope. And then, but also at the end of the day, I've made it very, very clear, and I've been vocal about the fact that I am obsessed with Chandru as a player. I think that he is a baller. I mean, he is the most annoying player in the Schmodown, and I love annoying. I do. You guys know that's my jam. I love annoying. I am annoying. I love annoying. I love in your face, obnoxious, like
unapologetic.
Unapologetic, just like are who you are. One of my favorite things about somebody is if they are self-aware enough to know how annoying they are and then use that as a weapon. It's incredible.
That's why you love Jake so much. I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, Jake,
I love him.
Jake's the annoying one, Paul. Sure, Paul.
Yeah, Jake's the annoying one.
Sure, Paul. Yeah, Paul.
I can't even talk crap. I love him. I love all of them.
We'll talk it for you. It's fine.
All right. Next question's from Brandon Buckingham. Favorite part of working with Jeff Snyder?
Hi, Brandon. My favorite part of working with Jeff is that, I have so many favorite parts. It's that I really love him, but I don't ever know what I'm going to get. I don't know what he knows and what he doesn't. And I have been his manager for years. I don't know if he studies or if he doesn't. I don't know. He is the most like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if I won't think he knows anybody who's on our faction, and then all of a sudden he's like in pictures with people. Like he just doesn't. I don't ever know what I'm gonna get with him. He keeps me on my toes, unlike anybody else. He's such a true wild card. If I was not his manager and I was not even a manager and I was just a fan, he would absolutely be my favorite player in the league. Because he's do you guys ever know what he knows and what he doesn't? I don't ever know what I'm getting from him, ever.
I don't even know when he's answering the question, like, because sometimes it seems like he knows it and then he doesn't, and then other times I'm like, there's no way he knows this, and then it's like he just says the answer. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. I don't know anything about him.
I love it too.
What, Jake? I said only nice things, Jake.
He's going to yell at me. That's all right, though.
All right. And our last of the Patreon questions is from Ben Rayner. It says, "Hi, Roxy. Curious, where did you come up with sexy numbers?"
It was so brutal that I didn't say sexy numbers in the most recent match. And I tweeted out apologizing to everybody. I was like, I'm ashamed. And people thought I meant I was ashamed that I ever said it. And I was like, no, I'm ashamed that I didn't say it this time. I actually have no idea. The numbers just seemed sexy to me once, and then they were always sexy. And like, what's better than something being sexy? Like, people who say they don't want to be sexy are fucking liars. We all want to be sexy. We want our lives to be sexy. We want our homes to be sexy. It's not necessarily priority number one, but we want our numbers to be sexy. Like, if somebody says to you, your numbers are sexy, that's the best thing ever. And so, yeah, if you're going to be at that time a rock star, at this time a star, your numbers are just, they're sexy. And there's a whole algorithm behind it, but I can't give that part away. But as for where it came from, and then I probably never would have said it again, but everyone hated it so much that what was I supposed to do? Drop it? That seems illogical. I just told you how I feel about annoying people. I love them.
Now you're a part of the Schmodown Rundown legacy. They use that sound.
That's the best. Every time it plays, I'm like, oh, that's me. I love sexy numbers. I hope it never dies ever. I love sexy numbers. It's the best.
Gotta get some t-shirts, some sexy numbers.
I need them. The sexy numbers. And like everybody else is like, oh, it's so stupid. And I'm like, then don't say it. It's not yours. Piss off. Like, everybody's like, it's so annoying. I'm like, what are you so mad about? What are you so mad about, bro? That my numbers are sexier than yours? That really upsets you? Dope.
They haven't had good experiences with sexy things. That's what it is. They haven't had good experiences with sexy things. Like,
yeah, they don't know. Everybody wants sexy numbers.
Who doesn't? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
34.5, 69. I mean, that's what we do, right?
That's what I'm saying. 666, it's a devil. 420. All good numbers. Sexy.
Good numbers.
Devil's cabbage.
All right, awesome. And we do have some Streamlabs and super chats that came in real quick. This one is a combination of two come in earlier from Danny Cost. My super chat was missed before, but thank you, Roxy, for Cost Like Lost. Now C2A host. Now you say my name now.
I was just going to say it. Cost Like Lost. I'm so happy about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I butcher names all the time. So I have to do myself these little things. And if I don't Cost Like Lost, then I don't know shit. So
it's official. C2A official now. It's Cost Like Lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the super chat I did earlier said, hi, Roxy. Thank you. Janine was destined to be a star.
She really, really is. God, imagine if in teams or single, like, imagine if Janine is holding a belt at the end of this year. Are you guys going to just lose your shit?
Yes.
Like, that would be,
yes.
That would be the best ever. Because everybody, all these motherfuckers out there will lose their minds. Oh, I want that so bad.
Very nice.
Very cool. All right, we have a question from Hitman Houston. I took Alex Damon #1 overall in my fantasy Schmodown league. Hope that pays off. I also had a dream that Andrew DiMolanta beat Alex Damon, developed force powers, and became the Emperor of the Earth. Please assure me that this will not happen.
Wait, but he beat DiMolanta and then he became the Emperor of the Earth? I can't assure you that won't happen. That could happen.
DiMolanta beat him.
Oh, DiMolanta beat Damon? Oh, no, that definitely. DiMolanta's really, really good. Yeah. And we're definitely not taking it lightly, or him lightly. I do feel as if DiMolanta wins, I might throw myself into ongoing traffic. So just so you guys know my mental state going into that. I know that Alex has got this. He just, at this point, he knows the game as well as, or better than, everyone else. And he has more knowledge in Star Wars. So something unbelievable would have to happen. Something unbelievable would have to happen. Right. And I just really pray that it doesn't, because, like, it is so fun, I think, as a fan, to just watch him just hang on to that mother effing thing and just be like, suck it. None of you are me. Especially because he's so nice. Yeah. It's incredible, because he's straight up, he's like, I guess I should use a Star Wars person, but he's like Superman. He's like Superman, and he just is good and kind and nice and confident, and not a pushover, but just still like he's the best. He's the greatest champion we've ever had.
100%.
Oh, I love him.
And he can rock a stash he can rock a good stash.
He can rock anything he wants. Anything he wants. I literally texted him the other day because we're planning something. It's down the line, so you guys don't know about it, whatever. And I texted him and I was like, just to be clear, I want to give you anything you want, whatever you need. You text me anything you want, whatever it is. You say you want to go IG, we go IG. Like whatever you say you want to do, that's what we do. Because there's nothing he can ask me for at this point that I'd be like, that's too big of an ask, or I don't believe that he can do that. If he says he wants to do something, he says he can do it. He's Alex fucking Damon. Oh my God, he's a legend. He's a legend. I feel like he's Michael Jordan. That's who I feel like I'm playing with. Oh, he's the best. So number 1 pick overall. You picked him too late. That's too late.
All right, Kels. A couple left.
A couple left. One of them is just a statement from Ferris Muthana, who donated very generously. So thank you for that. Just saying, what's up?
Ferris is the best.
Ferris is the best.
Like Bueller's Day Off. Good one, Rock. I'm pretty sure over and over I far as far. So Ferris.
All right. And then we have one from Jake Jacovetta. Says, okay, so which manager would you rather talk to me than them?
Which manager would rather talk?
Wait.
Say
it again.
He says, okay, so which manager would rather talk to me than them?
I have no idea what that's
Which manager would rather? Jake, speak English.
I read it as it was written.
We'll skip that one. Skip it, go on.
I don't even know. I'm lost.
So,
I know that Ben
Randy's now my favorite pick.
Fair.
I'm just fucking with you. Jake knows how I feel about him.
Ben Rayner, I also know that Ben put in a super chat a while back, and I cannot find it. I unfortunately
Better
lost
Superman,
that.
Tyler Hoechlin, or Brandon Routh. That's
There
what
we
it was.
go.
Yeah.
I think that so far we've only seen Tyler Hoechlin's been in 2 episodes of Superman and Lois, and he's probably been in 4 total episodes, maybe a little more because of the crossover events. And I have to say, as much as I did like Brandon Routh, I think it's Tyler. Tyler's doing such a good job. He's really good. I like him a lot. And Brandon Routh, I think, is better at being the Atom than he was at being Superman.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
I'm also such a nerd. Like, I wish for any of these questions I had to say to you guys, like, who's that? Like my 15-year-old self who's like trying to be popular and sit with the cool kids right now is like kicking myself and is like, what are you doing?
Blame Jack.
Stop it, Roxy. Stop it. But I can't help it. I love it.
I love it too.
All right. We have another Streamlabs from Star Gonzalez. Says, no question, just sending love for my girl Roxy and just a teeny bit of love for PLD, LOL.
I love Star. Star is like legit one of the most diehards. She is so good. Yes, Star.
Love
and
Star.
her name is Star. She's like born to be on the stars.
She's born to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we have one more super chat came in from Ryan Payne saying, why do you think 7, 8, 9? Because 9 was sexy.
That's the new joke. Yep. Yeah, you know, if I was 7, I would eat 9 because it was sexy too, and that's what you do to sexy people. You eat them. This we know, and I mean that with my whole heart.
And that's a wonderful word of wisdom to end the show on. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much to everyone that has been with us inside of the chat. Big thank you to Roxy Striar. Thank you for hanging out with us again. Before we head out, Roxy, let the good people know where you're at and what you got going on.
Well, every day live with Roxy, youtube.com/Roxy Striar for the next, doing math, 1 week. So for 1 more week. And then after that, and then Whirl Girls, we do have this Wednesday. Drina came over today. We are planning Steph a ridiculous live birthday stream. It is going to be, I mean, the things that we are planning for her that we're going to make her do are so fucked up. It is it is so funny. I cannot wait for this. Like, as Dee and I were strategizing, I was like, is this a birthday party for her or us? This is going to be one of the drunkard days of the year, I do believe. And also it's going to be so much fun. So that, and then later this month, the 21st, where we've got our marathon stream. And a lot of your guys' favorite people are coming on. I don't think we've made any official announcement yet, but I guess I could announce a couple of the people, Schmodown people. We're doing something really fun with Mike and Shannon and Sam and Rachel and Dan and Mara. So we've got more people than that coming in, but those are some fun names to throw out there for you guys. Oh, look at that. That's a Chill to Action exclusive. Yes. And don't tell anybody I told you guys that. Don't tell Dee and stuff. Because I don't know when we're announcing it, but we're really, really excited for a lot of the people that are coming on. And that's on the 21st. And we're also raising money for a really good cause that day too. I don't know if we've talked about that either. I don't know what we've shared with you guys. This marathon is taking up. We are literally right now, we're in planning meetings for it for about like 40 hours a week. So I have no idea what we've said out loud or what I'm mumbling in my sleep. But it's going to be sick. So just put it on the calendar.
Stoked for that.
Kelsey, my love.
All right. You can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. Hopefully we'll be doing some Twitch streams. My first episode of The Panelist got canceled because of life. So it will be coming back on. However, the subject matter might be changing. And then, of course, you can always find me here on Call to Action whenever I'm on.
I'm telling you, you have to do like VO work. Your voice is so cute. You could be like Minnie Mouse, or like, I'm trying to picture the other, I don't know, even like a Jessica Rabbit. You could do anything so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah.
Belford.
You can find me at Mr. Billy Belford on Twitter. You can find me here every other Monday for Chill to Action. You can find me every other Monday for Turn It Up to 11. You can find me on Twitch Tuesdays. You can find me Call Live on Saturdays. Yeah, and wherever else I show up randomly on random shows. Yeah, thanks.
You can find me at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me on PLD Projects, Scoundrels of the Force, every Sunday morning we do a Star Wars show. European-friendly time with all my European friends. But you also find me on Action Industries. I'm on all their weekend shows behind the scenes, sometimes on the scene, on the screen. I'm called Action, Chilled Action with my favorite co-hosts here. And then Turn Up to 11 with Billy. And finally, I think since Christian said I can do it too, we're really working hard to get the FCL going now. Brad Gilmore's going to lead a great charge. The FCL is going to be a big thing. That starts March 30th. They gave us that date. So we're working our ass off.
Whoa. I'm stoked about that. That's like the best thing that ever happened for managers.
Oh, yeah. They're going to feed you a new player.
Just makes the risk so much less, like when you're drafting people and there's game tape on them and it's serious, like, the families are incredible too, but like this is just huge.
The developmental league, you're going to get ready for the
totally. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all know me. It's your girl, Danny Joy. You can find me on Twitter at Danny Joy, DANIEEJOY. You can also find me here every week, y'all. Every week on Call Live with Mr. Billy Belford over there. Every other Monday here on Chill to Action with Mr. Paul Denuzio. And again, big thank you to everyone that has been with us inside of the chat. Make sure that you like this video. Subscribe to our channel if you have not. We're trying to get that C2A 2K. Let's go, baby. Also, happy anniversary to C2A. Happy month that we're in. The month of March is when we started our podcast officially. So happy 3-year anniversary to Call to Action. Thank you so much to everyone on the crew. Again, love you all so much from everyone at Call to Action. Give your puppies a belly rub. Tell your people that you love them. And as always, y'all, we love you and we salute you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Boom.